Hi, today I'm going to show you how to use Librivox.org. So first what you need to do is type in the site. We're already here, but just for purposes, the site is Librivox.org. Librivox is a free public domain audiobook website. So let's go down here and we're going to see that you can either volunteer to read audiobooks for Librivox so other people can download them and listen to them, or you yourself can listen to Librivox audiobooks. Librivox audiobooks are free for anyone to listen to on their computers, iPods, or other mobile device, or to burn onto a CD. I think that's really perfect because teachers can then use these audio files in their classrooms. So if you have an auditory student that learns best by listening to a book rather than just reading it themselves, this is a perfect thing for them. So let's say you had a book that you had to read for class. So I'm going to say Rapunzel. Maybe a teacher wants to use Rapunzel in her classroom and she wants her students to listen to it. So I searched Rapunzel in the search bar. We're going to click on it one more time and it gives me 2. Now I can either filter it by author. It's on author right now. So we can do it by author. So that's author. We have 3 results. We have titles, and there are many different titles about Rapunzel. Ooh, look, even the Great Chicago Fire. That's cool. There are all kinds of results for that. Well, let's go back to what we saw because there are a lot of title results for that. Let's go back to author. It left. Okay, title. And we're going to type in Rapunzel. Rapunzel in Children's Short Works Volume 1 or Children's Short Works Volume 4. Let's go with the first one. We're going to click on it. If you want the whole entire book, you can download it, but the cool thing about Librivox is you can download different sections. So if you're a teacher and you want to use different sections of an audiobook, you can do that. So let's listen to Beauty and the Beast. This is the first section of Beauty and the Beast. Here's Rapunzel right here by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm. And it even tells you the time length that it has. So Rapunzel is 10 minutes. If you have 10 minutes in class and you want your students to listen to Rapunzel as an introduction or just that they can follow along in their books, then you can. The only thing about using this as students are following along in their books, you have to make sure that this version of the story is the same exact version that you're going to have your students read in a text. So if I had a copy of Rapunzel from the library for the students to read or to read along on my Elmo projector, I would need to make sure that this recording matches exactly the same text as the book that I have. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess. So let's listen to Rhonda Fetterman's reading of Rapunzel. Let's test this out. We're going to do a little sample.
Rapunzel from Grimm's Household Tales by Margaret Hunt. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Rhonda Fetterman.
Before we go on, and before we listen to a little bit of Rapunzel, did you notice what she said after she read the title? Some readers say it before they do the title, some do it after the fact. She read it after the fact. She said, "This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, go to LibriVox.org. Every single recording that you use will have that. So just keep that in mind if you want to use that for your lessons as a teacher, or if you just, you want to listen to it and you want other people to listen to it. Just keep in mind that it's there. I think it's a cool little ad because it kind of enticed me to go on to LibriVox.org once I heard it. I first used LibriVox. I Googled free audiobooks when I upgraded my iPod, and I wanted to listen to audiobooks on my iPod. because I was getting into ebooks and everything like that. So I found out Audacity just by a Google search, and it was really cool to find that there are free audiobooks. Anyway, let's listen to a little bit of Rapunzel.
Rapunzel by Margaret Hunt. There were once a man and a woman who had long in vain wished for a child. At length the woman hoped that God was about to grant her desire. These people had a little window at the back of their house from which a splendid garden could be seen, which was full of the most beautiful flowers and herbs. It was, however, surrounded by a high wall, and no one dared to go into it.
So that's all the sampling that we're going to do of Rapunzel. If you want to listen to it, you can go to LibriVox.org. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. We're going to go through the same steps once more if you really want to check out the rest of this story. So let's go back to LibriVox.org. We're going to take you step by step. We're going to go to Catalog. We're going to search and make sure your title, if you want to figure out the title of a book, you can do that. We're going to type in Rapunzel, if I can spell it correctly, Rapunzel. We're going to click the first one that we find. And there it is, right there. Okay, so maybe you don't want to listen to Rapunzel while you are on the go. Maybe you can't have your laptop with you. That's fine. The LibriVox website provides an option where you can download the whole entire book. So I want to listen to this book, but I'm not at home on my computer to listen to it. That's the beauty of LibriVox. You can download the whole file in a zip folder. In order to extract files from the zip folder, make sure that you have a software downloaded on your computer, such as WinRAR, which is something you can download for free on Google, a free trial. And you can unzip the file, and it will give you all the different files that it has to offer. While we're waiting for that, I would like to show you the other option on the LibriVox website. Let's go back up to the top. LibriVox, you can read, so you can volunteer, or you can listen. I have actually volunteered for LibriVox in the past because I found it a great volunteer opportunity. I have not posted any of my works. I only got past the new user blog. So we're going to go into my section of the forum. So this is my view of the forum. Once you're a user, you can look at other people's posts, and you can also comment. So here are some things: going solo, upcoming books being recorded by a solo reader. So these are books that are going to be sold soon. They date as far back as probably 2006, I would assume. So here's a book, Charmides by Plato. So maybe they're just like recordings in progress. That's my best guess, because Plato is not recording things anymore. You can also go into the announcements section and report current uploader errors. So if someone uploaded a file that you can't listen to, you can report it. There's a Q&A system on new system problems and fixes and answers. So if you have problems, you can always go to the Q&A system. And then you want to read this before you post or record, so let's go there. It shows you how to record a whole book on your own, how to record a book in language other than English, what happened to a thread you saw here and which has disappeared, LibriVox recording process, and some available CD covers. Okay, well, let's see what I have going on here. This is my account. It shows my 2 total posts, the important announcements that I have missed since I have not been on in a long time. Listens and Editors Wanted is actually where you're going to go the first time that you record something if you decide to volunteer for LibriVox. People can listen to your very first podcast, and they will give you insight onto what you have done. On mine, they gave me very useful advice. They were like, okay, you need to change your settings. And I made a note of that. You need to change it to mono and everything else for that. So there is that. Your 1-minute test has to be posted as well before you can volunteer for anything on LibriVox. Okay, so I've shown you what you can do on LibriVox. You're probably asking yourself, what can a student do on LibriVox? Well, a student can also do the same thing as a teacher, believe it or not. If a student has to read a book for class, such as Pride and Prejudice, it'll be there. So let's walk back through that. Once again, let's go through the steps. There's catalog. Let's say I'm in a high school class and I need to read Pride and Prejudice for school. We can search Pride and Prejudice online. But remember what I said before, it has to be the same exact version of the book that you're reading. It might not be the same exact version word for word. There might be different things that are added into the recording. So I can listen to Pride and Prejudice and get the basic gist. This is a good website for understanding the basic gist if you are great with auditory learning. If you're not, then you can make something like this. Every audio file that you upload on LibriVox will be an MP3. And the recording software that you use is Audacity, which we'll get to in a second. But this is part of a LibriVox recording that has been used as a digital storytelling. Someone made a Lego scene of Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 2. So let's watch a little bit of it. Skip forward, this is lengthy. Let's keep going.
Romeo, forget your name and take me instead. Oh, it's my son. Hello?
Hey.
Okay, maybe that's not the most accurate and best recording of Romeo and Juliet, but it is something that a child has done. Okay, let's go into Audacity. Audacity is free and you can download it for your PC or Mac, depending on what you use, and you're going to look for an icon on your computer that looks just like this. So we're going to click it. We're going to say OK. We have the free version. And from here, you can record a LibriVox recording. This is your record button. So let's record a little something. Hello, how are you today? You can stop it with the yellow button, and then you can play it back with this green button, obviously. Hello, how are you today? If you want to pause it, you can pause it. There are different effects that you can use for a track. You can even layer tracks. So if you want to add a new track, you can always add a new track underneath by doing File. You can import a track. And then what I love about this is you can combine different audio files using the time shift tool. So if I wanted to add a new track, I would use the time shift tool and I can move that track over to about here where I stop. So let's do that. We're going to go to Add New Audio Track. I am well, thank you.
How are you?
So as you can see, that one went in, so we can always mute that one out, and we can do that. But now that we have a new audio track, we're going to use our time shift tool, and we can move it however we want to move it. Our time shift tool allows us to move it after that one. Hopefully this recording has been helpful for you. Audacity is great because it gives you audiobooks that are free in the public domain. Again, I want to emphasize the fact that teachers can use this for students as audiobook resources. Students can listen to these at home and teachers can utilize these in the classroom.